up, Scorpio gang? Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. My name is Annie. We're going to read your tarot cards. Let's start you off with an oracle. Guys, these are general messages. Not everything I say will resonate with you, so please only take away what fits your circumstance or scenario. Feel free to check back. It may resonate at another date. And you are accountable for all responsibilities, actions, and decisions. All right. Let's see. Surround yourself with your soul tribe. I love this picture. I love their hair. I just got this oracle deck. It's neat. It's your soul tribe, your soul fam. I can already tell you have repeated messages that are coming up in Pisces as well as Cancer's energy. These cards were both very prominent in my Pisces and Cancer reading, so maybe worth exploring if those signs are insignificant to you in any way. Turn lemons into lessons. I love this card. So instead of looking at an obstacle as a death sentence or something that the universe is putting you through for the purpose of struggle, it's about changing that mentality that you're carrying around and understanding something sweet will come from this, but it's almost like you have to find the missing ingredients. You maybe have to add in the sugar. I know I'm going off of these cheesy metaphors, but I think that's important. It says to me, you may be feeling bitter or righteous or however you want to say it about something, but that's not where the story ends. So the mere fact that you're kind of in that energy that's feeling a little bit stifled, I think that's good, but you're meant to go deeper into it because you're meant to gain wisdom out of that place of darkness, right? So you might be in the thick of it right now. You might be questioning a lot of things, but you haven't reached the gems yet. It's funny, I'm always getting this metaphor of like diving for things in the ocean. Does that mean something? I mean, you are a water sign, so that doesn't totally surprise me. Metaphors, but for some of you, that might be quite literal if that, I don't know if that has to do with like a vacation or, I don't know, scuba diving, whatever. I'm going to let you decide what that means. And then let's see, journal it out, write how you feel. Surround yourself with your soul tribe. So I know for a lot of you, it may feel like isolation is the answer because you may be feeling really all sorts of ways, feeling some type of way, as they like to say. And to the point where it feels very extreme and not necessarily totally bad, but also not totally rational. It's like you still have a few pieces and things to work out. And so I think it's really healthy. Some of you may be taking to journaling or writing or, writing about even maybe like tarot card readings or something where it's like you're trying to see a higher perspective on the situation. You're searching for not only internal wisdom, but like wisdom from the divine. I think that's very important. It's almost like the divine is speaking through you in your words and your journals to yourself. I would even argue some of you may even be very in tune with your spirituality where you could mentor others in some sort of capacity. From that, there will be some wisdom gained, but I'm also being called to say, schedule in time to remind yourself, or not just to remind yourself, schedule time to actually take action on being social, because I think there is something of value in immersing yourself among energy that is fresh, that is, yes, a fresh perspective, but it's almost like taking a break from your worries. It seems like you guys are on the brink of something very profound and very deep. And so I think your solution to that is to just keep immersing yourself in it, because eventually it's like you'll get to the buried treasure at the bottom of the ocean if you just, keep diving and diving. But I mean, even that metaphor I love because there's gravity pulling against you in a sense, right? I think it's really the opposite. It would be very helpful for you to swim back up to the surface and gain some breath, go out and see your friend, hang out with your family, then take a deep breath and go down under again. It's like you're searching for internal wisdom and you will get it. But, and I have to laugh. I don't mean to offend or insult you, but it's almost like you're bitter that it's not coming quicker because you're putting all this energy and endurance into something. But it has to do with your strategy or the timeline that you've given yourself. There's just something about taking a break, popping up to the shore, getting some fresh air, getting some fresh perspective. Maybe it has to do with talking out your problems, right? I know you guys are very deep and you are very capable of profound change and transformation just individually as a person. But that's not to take away from the fact that other people around you will support you in this endeavor and may offer you that missing link, that missing key, that missing insight that will help you get to the treasure faster or whatever this is. So very interesting message. Keep your thoughts positive. Yeah. It does not end with you being told that there is no treasure. There never was. Even that feels very profound. Keep your thoughts positive. You know there's something good down there. You know there's something good out there. I don't know why. I'm going to move away from my scuba diving metaphor, but it just felt so good. It felt so right. there's something good up ahead, but it's taking time. I mean, quite simply, it's taking time for you to discover it. I almost think, too, this is kind of like a message where it's saying that your initial goal, whatever it is that you are trying to get to, you may in fact find that, but it may actually not be as rewarding as what you discover along the way. I know this is starting to sound cheesy, It's never about the destination, it's about the journey. Here's the thing. That's exactly what I'm getting from this. So I'm trying to put this in context of anything real life, because for most of you, I don't think it's actually scuba diving, but, let's say you're gunning for that position at your job or whatever, and it's like, I've been putting in the hours and the time, I've been taking on extra projects. The thing is, I think a lot of you will get there, but I think there is the temptation to be a little bit resentful that it wasn't handed to you when it was supposed to be. I wouldn't look at it like that way. I would look for lessons and wisdom from this delay. Most of you will still get this sort of Three of Cups accomplishment, celebratory sensation at the end of all this. But I actually think that some circumstance or scenario arises where you actually discover something you're more passionate about. And so this was all guided. You were meant to go through every step of this, but because you're like, that's the end goal, that's what I want, you may be missing the signs along the way that it's like, really? Because the universe is the end goal is here, and like you're beside it, but you're not necessarily seeing it or acknowledging it because you're so like that. You're so determined. There's like a Scorpio, there's an intensity about that one. That's what I want. And this could be romantic too, where, this cheesy, but it's like, but the whole time you had you're the person you put in the friend zone supporting you and helping you through a difficult time. And that's what I mean. It's like, it was kind of like in the palm of your hand the whole time. But I mean, I can't tell you that. Your best friend can't tell you that. Your mother can't tell you that. You have to know it for yourself. You have to discover it for yourself. Your reality is your reality is a reflection of your inner world. I really like that card. Something about that seems very profound about this reading. And then keep your thoughts positive. All right, so let's dig in deeper with the tarot. I love these oracle cards. I'm going to say it. This was one of my favorite oracle card decks that I bought. I just like the pictures. They're pretty. They speak to me. All right, so let's get some messages on the tarot for Scorpio. Journal it out. Write out how you feel. Yeah, there's a contract coming up. Yeah, there's a job offer coming up, a contract. It could be maybe a marriage proposal. That's really not the first thing I'm getting here, though I would argue some of you may be writing out your vows or writing out a speech you're giving at a wedding, especially if you're like a bridesmaids or a maid of honor. Yeah, something about this actually does have a lot of wedding vibes, like the flower crowns and vows and ceremonies. So okay, I don't know what this is then. Is this like always a bridesmaid's never a bride type vibe? Like this message has come up a lot, and I know some of you cross-watch, so I hate to keep repeating myself, but it's so important to like step back. Like when you're so in it, you can't see the forest from the trees. This is about gaining a higher perspective, stepping away so that you can have that like elevated view, that zoom out view. Any photographers in the house? What I'm getting at is that you are never going to miss out on what is meant to be yours. So because you're gunning for it in this extreme way about something, you see light at the end of the tunnel, but you're so fixated on the end of the tunnel, you're missing out on the bliss of what's around you. So some of you, maybe it is like, even in metaphor, the idea of, you're always the bridesmaid, but never the bride. It's like, but when is it my moment? Because that's what I want. When you're missing out on, I don't know, opportunities just to meet new people and date around and not be committed to one person, right? I get that that's what some of you want, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's not where you're at currently, you're living too much in the future. All these cheesy expressions, right? If you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're nervous, you're worrying about the future. You have peace of mind when you're living in the present, Scorpio. I think that's really important for a lot of you. You're missing out on opportunities with your friends too. A lot of you, it seems like, especially if you've been gung-ho about work type stuff, you've declined a lot of social activities and social hangouts. And I don't mean because of the whole mass COVID thing. Of course, be safe about it. I'm not advocating going to like a rager this weekend, right? What I am saying though is that just hanging out with your best friend in a park, that would be so good for your mental health, but you're like, sorry, I can't, I'm busy, I'm writing all weekend. Ironically though, it's like you're creatively constipated. Like even when you sit down to write, there's nothing there. Your inspiration comes from those around you, Scorpio. That's really important. Yeah, you got to change something up in your daily activity, in your daily schedule. Your daily routine. Do you see quite literally, it's like you're putting teamwork behind you? Because you're looking out over your kingdom, over your castle. You're deciding what your next move is or what you want. You hold the world in your hand, right? You have all this potential to make lemonade, but right now all you got are the damn lemons. You got to find the sugar. The sugar is in your people, your soul tribe, your family, so don't turn your back on them. That's very important. Inspiration will come. It's almost like the 2 and the 1 to me say... 3 of Wands, like your ships are coming in, but they're not here yet. So you can embrace it, that they're coming in, but there's really nothing you can do about the timeline, or you can fight it. You can struggle and be like, no, I'm going to make them come in faster. I'm going to force them to do it. I have to be honest. I think that mentality in this very specific tarot reading is not the correct way of operating. I don't know how else to say it. It's like you're trying to force something that divine timing has decided not yet. They're not saying not ever. They're just saying not yet, because I don't know how else to say it in a more creative, different way. There's someone who's already around you in your circle of friends and your family and your soul tribe offering you something of great value, but you're just like, it's just a fish. It's just a fish in a cup. I don't need that. I have no use for it. The universe is like, don't test me, Scorpio. Like, there's something very valuable to be seen here. And I'm being silly, guys, right? I'm not reprimanding you. I'm not scolding you. I'm offering to you that part of the solution to your problem, it's already within your environment, especially coming from someone who's going to give you a lot of wisdom. Who is this person in your life? Because they're looking at you very affectionately. It's almost like, this almost feels like someone who you've rejected, even if it's just a friendship. It's like they always call, like, oh my gosh, hey, like, I'm going to go here this weekend. Do you want to come? Like, we're going to go camping. And then they're so excited to hang out with you. And you're like, sorry, I'm in all weekend. I'm working on my website. And like, it's just like you completely took the wind out of their sails. I also like that metaphor too, because the idea of your ships are coming in, it's almost like, I know this is cheesy, but it's like you're meant to go on the ships and go out somewhere else. The idea that it's like you're almost Cancerian, for those who have Cancerian in their chart, like I'm just going to perch myself on this rock, on this cliff, and I'm going to hold on with my crabby claws until something comes. But it's almost like you're trying to manifest something, and that's great, but the missing piece is that you have to take action towards it. And so some of you will, right? You're not right now, but some of you will choose to take action towards it. And then ultimately, when you take a step forward, it's out of your hands. You have to let the universe step in and meet you halfway, right? Because it could be, I think you don't have any bad cards. I just really want to emphasize this. Something good is coming to you, but the waiting game is killing you, or finding the solutions. They're going to come organically. They're going to come in creative ways that maybe you're not expected, that you're not expecting, in unanticipated ways from unexpected people who offer you exactly what you need to hear at exactly the right time. That is the key. It is the missing link. It is the solution to your problem. Not all your problems, but something that is profound, something that could really initiate some positive change or help you gain momentum for when you're feeling stuck or stifled. That's where the sugar lies. Go to your sugar. Who's your sugar? Your sweetheart, right? Yeah, it would be very healthy for you guys to take a weekend off, to not do, I don't know, whatever is bringing you this kind of like, I mean, in a way, almost obsession. It's like, well, I'm at the end of this novel and like I have to finish it. It's just that last chapter, it's driving me nuts. Literally stand up and walk away. The solution to your novel or your story or whatever it is you're working on, it is not in your house. It is not in your office. It's not in your basement. It is like 500 miles away where all your friends are camping for the weekend. That is where the solution lies, Scorpio. I know it's easy for me to say, but that's what this message is. Don't turn your back on the people around you. They are chock full of wisdom. So by ignoring them, you are stifling yourself or further, I don't know, it's not contributing in a helpful way to your process or your project. What is this person offering? These cards came out, so I'm wanting to use them, but there's like too many, so I'm sure there's, ooh, career advice? Something with the father, too. Did you turn your back on your father? Interesting. So some of you are like monkey in the middle with your mother and your father, if that makes sense. It feels like, I don't know if you're a child of divorce or something about that is bleeding into your own life. Or even if your parents aren't divorced, it seems like One parent may sort of use you or manipulate you emotionally, and so you've chosen to distance yourself from that. And okay, maybe rightfully so. I don't know all the details here, but there could be reconciliation or something between father and child or mother and child because someone is really wanting to be with you. Someone is really longing for you, if that makes any sense. It could also be, again, advice about your career. Again, though, it's like you've turned your back to the father, right? If King of Cups is my Scorpio card, male or female, who is this emperor and why are you not addressing him? Why are you not acknowledging him? Is he, in fact, your superior, right? I would offer, the emperor, in cards anyway, kind of trumps the King of Cups. Is there a power dynamic here? Is there someone who needs to swallow their pride? Is ego feeding into this? That's what this might be. Someone who there's a little bit of resentment or bitter feelings about. And if this is romantic, it may have to do with an Aries or an Aquarius. What's between them? Is this able to reconcile? What's between them? Confusion. People are confused about where the other one stands. What is this? Pick your player. I think this is your other person or someone who's wanting to reconcile with you or who is confused about your motives or where you stand. Tell me about the Emperor here. Could be an Aries, but it doesn't have to be. It could be someone you work with. They just want to get the work done. They're trying to remove the feelings or aggression from it. It's like they're not trying to hold anything over your head. Obviously something transpired here, and for most of you, it felt like there were some hurt feelings or ego or whatever. This person's like, let's just do the work. I'm almost getting like, let's not make this a thing, like water under the bridge. Do you want to work with me or not? And I get some of you are like, yeah, I was in love with you. I really wanted to work with you and you like fucked it up. So it's like you're waiting for an apology. I have to be honest, Scorpio, if this is romantic, I don't think you're going to get an apology because this person has a lot of pride and ego. Is that a, what is the word? Not game changer. Why can't I think of the word? Is that enough to end a happy relationship? And maybe it is, right? I mean, if you don't want to date someone who's that stubborn that they can't ever admit fault, right? Some of you, though, you guys could make this work is what I'm getting, but this person doesn't want to get all touchy-feely. This person wants to be like, listen, X, Y, and Z, this happened, you said this, I said that, all right, let's get back to work. Like, there's not a lot of emotions and feelings here. So if this is your boss or a coworker, you guys are going to be fine. If you can let go of the resentment or baggage, you guys will get the job done. Now, if this is romantic, that's where it gets complicated because you seem to be the one who's needing some sense of emotional connection back in this, and I get it. If it's romantic, you deserve that. I don't even know if deserve is the right word, but more or less, yeah, if you're dating someone, if you're romantically involved, I would hope they're warm and affectionate. The Emperor has the ability to be, because ultimately I sort of see him as a fire king, so he is very passionate, but he's also very blunt. So that doesn't always land if you are a very sensitive person. But if, like, I don't know, I don't hate this. The fact that it came out with the Eight of Pentacles, I think there's positive stuff here. For Scorpio, what's the deal? And again, this could be literally your father for some of you. It's like he just wants to make it work. Can the family just get along? Especially if you are a family of 3 siblings, Scorpio. If you are one of the siblings, it's almost like 3 girls or 3 sisters, 3 women. I don't know why I'm being called to say that, but I am. This could be an apology. Did someone reach out to you with apology and maybe they did check their ego? Maybe they said something that was very hard for them to say and you gave them the cold shoulder. There's a lot of imagery of someone turning their back to someone else. Literally, it's all over this reading. Turning the back to the 3. Do you even see how this guy in kind of like the gray, if you will, there's 2 on the other side and he's just about like, he's not sure if he's going to consider them or not. He's debating it, right? Same with this. Here's an apology. Will you accept me? Oh, who? Who are you? Like, talk to the hand because I don't want to hear it. Even this. So who's who? I don't know. Maybe this is a pattern or a cycle that is repeating in multiple areas of your life. But the solution is the wall has to come down. If someone has opened up the chain of communication, if you actually love this person, you should probably respond, right? Rather than living in this, like, I don't know, like the more I dig deeper, it does seem a little bit resentful. And I'm not saying you're totally wrong. I'm sure this person did something that wasn't cool. So you have to assess a deal breaker. That was the word, not game changer. I was looking for that earlier. Is it a deal breaker that this person isn't able to speak about their emotions in the same way that you are? Or maybe it's vice versa, right? There are some Scorpios who don't like to go deep or expose that vulnerability. So what's between them is confusion right now. So to get to the bottom of this, it's so funny. Even this to me is like that whole scuba diving metaphor of digging deep to get to the bottom, to get to the buried treasure. This could be like digging deep into family issues that have gone on for generations and actually addressing them and doing something to like get rid of them this time. Start fresh, start new. To bring love and passion back to, I don't know, some relationship. I'm hearing bitter pill to swallow. There's something where it doesn't always go down smooth, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't take a sip because maybe from, your wounds or your wisdom, maybe you'll gain some insight by hanging out with that person who kind of drives you nuts. Do some journaling, but don't neglect your circle of friends, your network of people. Yeah, there's a very powerful group of women, and it could be sisters or just best friends. Those people are your rock. So don't ignore them. I hate to say don't. I try not to do that in a tarot reading, but really there's something you're really overlooking and these people care so deeply about you. Yeah, don't run from your problems. Just because it's uncomfortable, all the more reason to like dig deep. And you can do that, I know you can, Scorpio. It's not always comfortable, but yeah. For a lot of you, this has to do with like a parent-child, mother-father dynamic. I suppose it could have to do with your boss. I don't get that message a lot. Maybe it's a coworker, especially if you two are co-operators or like, I don't know, co-presidents or something of like the same thing, but you guys are like the upper crew, the upper people. There's bad blood. There's confusion. I could even see this as like 3 people too. So maybe this is romantic, but that's exactly what I mean. It's like you're a monkey in the middle between these 2 options. And, okay, this is interesting too. You've got your back towards the Empress. The Empress is technically turned in the other direction, but her eyes are looking back at the King of Cups there. So there's potential to mend something with an Empress. Maybe it's a Taurus or a Libra. Maybe it's Venus energy, right? Something or someone you love. It's this one that I think you need to be the initiator, because I get a sense that somebody already tried to open up a little bit to you, but you may have turned them down out of spite or almost like giving them a taste of their own medicine. Scorpio, did I lose you all? I'm sorry. Excuse me. I just have to be honest. Like, I don't know. Who's the King of Cups? Maybe this is all about your male water sign. Maybe you're the one, Mars energy that wants to work with them, but if that's the case, it's like even when you extend the romantic gesture, they're giving you a lot of illusion or confusion. And if that's the case, it might be because they're looking at someone else, like they've already moved on. So that in itself may be your answer. And maybe that whole metaphor of digging deeper and trying to find the treasure, if that is like your obsession to win this person's affection, maybe the writing on the wall is that this whole time your best friends have been saying like, he didn't treat you right. Like he wasn't nice to you. Do you remember that awful text he sent you? Remember when he ghosted you for those 3 months? Like there's wisdom and gems around you that it's like it's trying to align you to the proper path, but you are so hell-bent and determined on the end goal, you're missing the signs along the way. Yeah. I don't know what else to tell you, Scorp. Practice good situational awareness. Try to see the forest from the trees. Step back. Step out of your own web for a minute and just consider what's going around. I think you're so deep in it, you lost sight of things. And again, there's no shade here. There's no judgment, but it's like that whole metaphor of come up to breathe again, get some fresh air, spend some time in nature, get a new perspective on things. Because again, there is a message here of what you were trying so hard to make yours. I'm not saying you won't get it. I'm saying that eventually I don't think you're going to want it. You quite literally change your mind. And what's interesting is I think you about face the people that you were not listening to or considering before. And it's not necessarily out of ego or maliciousness. I don't sense that. It's something maybe you were taking for granted, which I think we are all guilty of doing that every now and then, right? Your best friend, your family, right? Maybe you went on the date instead of hanging out with them. It happens. That's life. I think you about face and you start to invest more in the people who have always been there for you. Loyalty. That's a big word for my Scorpios out there, right? That's usually quite important to a lot of I would argue everyone, but yes, especially Scorpios. Scorpios are very loyal people. Well, the right ones anyway. I think you have loyal people who are really, they're not even trying to impose or interject their opinions to change your mind. It's like they're just offering what they got, and what they got is chock full of wisdom. So when you decide to listen to them more, I think that's when the answers start coming. Some of you are going to go back and read something and see exactly where you sort of, not floundered, but where you sort of took things in a wrong direction. I'm almost getting the idea of maybe if this is about an ex or a romantic thing, you may have written pages about them. If you're, I don't know, manifesting or doing candle work or something, you may be able to look back now objectively and look at like, wow, I was in such an unhealthy place. Like I'm reading this now and it doesn't even seem like me. Like I was a different person because I was so in it. Again, you weren't seeing that higher perspective. That's what this reading is about. This may have to do with an Aquarius or a Cancer, another Scorpio, hold on, or a Leo. So you will have closure. You will have completion, but it's not going to come instantly. It's almost like you need to take a break from your problems. The judgment, the awakening about the past, the longer you, again, avoid doing what is good for your mental health, your emotional health, aka hanging out with people who bring you joy. If you avoid that, you are putting off the conclusion or closure to this chapter in your life indefinitely. So again, go in a new direction, try something new, change up your daily routine. From that, there's progress and movement and a victory, and you're able to finally let something go that I think you were holding on to for a long time. It may have had to do with, again, a fire sign, a Cancer, an Aries, an Aquarius. I think you finally accept the ending of something and it actually brings you strength. It doesn't bring you sorrow or heartbreak because you're able to see it with more clarity and wisdom now. Something that was holding you back or hindering your ability to transform, Scorpio, it's almost like you turned your back on the transformation. I don't know why I'm seeing this so much. It's like such a theme in your reading. The Queen of Wands is no longer addressing the person who keeps her like swimming deeper and deeper. It's like we're never getting anywhere. It's a waste of effort. It's a waste of energy. I shouldn't say that. You're meant to go through it. It actually very much serves you. I think at the end of making it to that finish line or that goal, you're going to be met with like a sour cup of lemonade. But again, it's what you make of it. It doesn't have to be sour if you acknowledge, not quite my taste. Not quite what I was expecting. I was hoping for something a little sweeter. You'll get to the sweeter, but it doesn't come without a little bit of, oh no, that's not for me. A little bit of a humbling lesson. Some of you are going to move towards a Scorpio or a Leo, or you're going to move towards the transition out of this cycle. Some of you are going to leave a fire sign behind in Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. For some reason, I'm wrapping this up, but for some reason I'm getting that line from Whiplash. Any drummers or musicians out there or teachers? I don't know. There's this crazy J.K. Simmons. It's a great movie. Damien Chazelle. I love him. This is kind of serving a purpose, but I keep hearing that thing of not quite my tempo, not quite my tempo. It's like he's reprimanding his students for, giving it their all. Whiplash, right? Like he's playing this drum solo and it's like 10 minutes long and he's sweating and his fingers are bleeding. And no matter how hard he tries, J.K. Simmons is just like, no, not quite my tempo. It's never meeting his standards to the point where God forbid, this is hopefully not your life, but like he resorts to like cruelty and punishment. He's throwing chairs at people, right? Like, what does he say? It's like, he starts slapping him like, what does he say? Am I late or am I early? Or something about keeping the beat. You've been keeping the beat so long, but it's like you're not playing the same tune anymore. I don't know. There's some metaphor there. Maybe that'll make sense to some of you, but anyone seen Whiplash? I don't know. Great movie. I highly recommend it. And maybe that'll mean something to you, right? That whole movie is like a power player move, though. Like he revolts against the authority, or yeah, I don't know. Something about that may play in for you. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up there because I'm getting chatty. Let's just talk about movies all day. Am I right? Okay, Scorpio. Thanks for joining me. Please remember to like the video, share, subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next Monday for more tarot. Bye, guys.